I overcame social anxiety and cracked core confidence, and this is how I did it. I went from having extremely negative dialogue in my head, constantly berating me, to then actually having a deep sense of peace. And it only took a few changes in my mindset and perspective. So in this video, I want to share with you what's helped me. I'm super grateful for these realizations because I know how powerful they've been in my life. Without this realization, I would have 100% stayed stuck in the same negative cycle for years, only making small progress even though I was putting in massive effort. I felt like I was forever spinning my wheels, watching hundreds of hours of YouTube advice videos, all giving me the same generic mundane advice. I never felt like I was getting anywhere. I really wanted to succeed because I knew deep beneath all of the layers there was a real confident version of me, an authentic version of me. The real me. I was frustrated and nearly felt like giving up. And I started to believe that maybe this just wasn't for someone like me. Maybe a piece of shit like me should just never try something like this. This was my internal dialogue. My internal dialogue was just so cruel to me. But I kind of knew at this point that this wasn't truly me, that this internal dialogue wasn't really me. There was something else going on here. And maybe you can relate. What kept me going were these rare glimpses of change. Occasionally, I would get a small window of what it felt like to be in the zone, to be the authentic me. During these times, I felt extremely alive. I suddenly felt an inner peace. I could sense this sort of lake of inner calm. It's almost like time had slowed down. I had this new, very nice relationship with myself. It felt like I had just massively let go. And what's interesting was, as I was socializing, it felt like I had this deep compassion for everybody, like I sort of understood their pain, as crazy as that sounds. But unfortunately, I just couldn't make this feeling stick, so I would get frustrated with myself. And because I knew that this feeling was kind of down there, existing within me somehow, I would put pressure on myself to try and meditate my way through this, and then I would get even more frustrated when I wouldn't reach this feeling that I had previously. I would then be even harder on myself because I couldn't figure out why this feeling wouldn't stick. This would then add to the sabotage of me chasing my goals. I would find it even harder and harder. I'd sabotage any momentum I had with going out and being social, eating clean. I'd just think, oh, what's the point? I'm only going to sabotage. And then weeks would turn into months. Months would then turn into years, and it just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere. And it was all because I was just being extremely hard on myself. And I'd then criticize myself even more. What was my big realization? How did I break out of this negativity? I let go.
Stop trying to control everything and just let go. Let go!
I stopped fighting myself internally. I started to have compassion for my inner critic. I realized that it just wanted the best for me. It didn't know all the damage it was causing. This understanding seemed to break the cycle. It, the inner critic, seemed to relax. I applied this to the other parts of me. The scared part, the lonely part, the part that needs to distract me through addictions. I realized that it just wanted the best for me. These parts just wanted the best for me. They didn't realize, these parts, as if they're people, didn't realize that they were causing so much damage in my life. I realized that there was a big part of me that was stuck in fear, stuck protecting me, always wanting to keep me safe, by not wanting to experience fear. I realized essentially that all of these parts were just stopping me from being vulnerable. It was like there was a part of me that they were actually hiding. They were all locked in the past. They were all stopping that real me from coming to the surface, blocking the authentic self, the real me from shining through due to fear. Fear of being hurt again. That's why my results with feeling relaxed were so varied. Even though I was meditating, even though I was going to the gym, it was really trying hard, trying to push through. I was just making things worse for myself because I was being hard on myself. And the big realization was that these parts were there to just protect me, that they were causing this problem because they were tensing up. They were protecting me from being vulnerable, like I said. The big empowering paradigm shift was that these parts of me, they were just doing a job out of love. What happened next was incredible and honestly has changed my life. I suddenly grew compassion for that little inner drill sergeant and all the other scared parts of me. I understood that inner voice. I no longer hated or rejected that voice. I no longer fought against these parts of me. I no longer disowned them. I no longer tried to get rid of them like they were bad. I faced up to them, and it's so empowering. I realized that most of the time I was just doing things to just distract myself from just feeling them and understanding them because I was scared what they might say. And it started to feel okay to be me. I started to feel more comfortable in my skin. I started to feel this relaxation, this peace. And the transformation seemed to take just a couple of days even. It was quite incredible. It felt like a few days later, I did relax again. I went back to that feeling that I described earlier, and it just felt so familiar. It was like I was acting before. I was always acting out of fear. The transformation was actually quite incredible because it did feel like just a few days later, I'd let go of so much fear. I felt like my heart had opened and I just suddenly started being able to connect with people much easier. I realized that this was true for all my inner parts, the scared part, angry part, jealous part. They were all doing a job, playing a role. I realized that this is what it meant to fully get out of my own way. So let me ask you, where inside you is a part of you that is protecting you? You'd be surprised that this part probably can be located in your... So scan your body now and locate any part of you that you can feel is resisting or trying to distract or thinking about something else. Locate that in your body now. And I know it sounds crazy, but if you can ask that part of your body, that tension, what would it say if you could ask it, what are you resisting? What are you fighting against? You don't need to think of anything here. It's really helpful if you just listen, if you just get comfortable and listen. You can even ask it, what will happen if you relax? That's a really powerful question. I found that the more I ask that, I ask these parts of me that have that tension, what will happen if you just relax today? What will happen if you just let me get on with things without having to protect me? What will happen? One of the things I realized was when I ask these parts, there's a part of me that's always wanting to be motivated. It always wants me to get to the future, prove myself, get validation. I would get easily triggered if I didn't get the affection of somebody else very quickly. And I realized that there was a part of me that was protecting me for that reason. I soon discovered there was a part of me that always wants to be motivated all the time, always at my best, never let anyone down, never be vulnerable. And what these parts don't realize is if they are actual inner beings, they don't realize the damage they're causing. They just want to protect you, but it will be at the detriment of your life. Your life could be a complete mess. But as long as they're protecting you from distraction, addiction, overthinking, constantly playing it safe, they don't realize the damage they're causing. They're making you tense all the time, keeping you afraid, constantly making you overthink and ruminate. So the big paradigm shift is to understand that their motivations, that they have these pure intentions and they are trying to protect you. When you shift your perspective, and like I said at the beginning, when you shift your perspective, that's when the magic starts to happen, because you have compassion for your parts, they start to relax. The problem is, in society, we're told to just push through, willpower through, and we end up ignoring these parts of us. We disown these parts of us. We disown the angry part of us, the jealous part of us. We don't listen to these parts. We ignore them, and they just grow stronger. And that's how self-sabotage happens. Because after a while, they're just like, if you're not going to listen to me, we're going to do something crazy, so you do listen to me. Most of us are trying to just willpower and hustle through. This just makes sabotage harder and stronger down the road. If you can relate to what I'm saying, and this is something that is really making sense, then please comment below what part of you has been resisting the real you from shining through. And obviously you don't need to go into too much detail here, but it really helps out the channel if you do comment and engage with me, and I'll answer your questions, because this honestly has been the most life-changing thing, and this is why I'm making these videos, sharing with you guys. I hope I haven't rambled too much, but I really want to hear from you, so please comment below, like, subscribe, and I really hope that helps, and I really hope you get the benefits from this type of therapy that I've got. Anyway, peace.